Welcome back, Panther fans. I'm David Brown here with Ryan Graham.
Hey, y'all.
Tim Thurber.
Hello.
And this is State of Atlanta. Oh, I did pop. All right, guys.
It's a three beer night.
We are 207 days away from football season.
Yay.
We're number one, right?
In what?
And yeah, tied for first. Tied for first in the division, at least.
Oh, 0-0? Yeah, okay. I'm down.
Stop the season. We're good.
Because I sure as hell don't want to talk about basketball right now.
It's rough. It's rough goings.
Look. We played the number one and number three teams, right? I think
In the Sun Belt. Let's be clear here. Not anywhere else.
Yes, but we are in the Sun Belt.
Not even like the number one, number three mid-major, which still frustrates me, but Sun Belt.
But we are the Sun Belt. We got to accept it.
And we should be able to beat any team. We should be beating all these teams.
We should be like middle of the pack at best.
We got 7 more conference games to play. Projected to win 3 of them.
That we're middle of the pack says a lot about the Sun Belt.
We're still like top 10 out of our 14-person conference.
Top 10, guys.
What do we need to be to not do the playing games? That's what I want to know. You be top 10?
Yeah, I think that sounds right. Yeah, we talk about this every year because I always forget what it is. But yeah, we're by ourselves. We're not tied with anybody right now. Just sitting there.
Trash is above us, right?
Our little 4-7 record. Yeah, they were one win above us, which we know we should have beaten them down there. Of course, didn't look like we should have, but when you beat them at home the way we did, we should have beaten them down there by a little bit at least.
So you're saying we have a chance, David?
We always have a chance.
Well, we are one of the teams we're projected to beat is Marshall, which is ranked ahead of us. They're 7-4, we're 4-7, and we still have like 60-70% chance of winning according to ESPN, which I don't know where the hell they're getting these numbers from anymore. And then Texas State projected to beat.
Did Trash, like, who did they lose to? Who are their bad losses? Trash beat them? I'm asking tough questions.
Marshall, I don't know. Look at the schedule. I don't know what the hell.
I don't know.
I have the standings. I don't have what Trash Down South or Marshall's done this season.
You guys have ruined schedules for me. I don't look at them for anything.
The thundering.
Basically, that like the day of a game will be like, well, I'll Google Georgia State basketball and whatever pops up. I'm like, all right, that's the game.
That's where.
So they lost to Old Dominion twice. They're not very good, are they? Old Dominion.
Old Dominion's last in conference.
Okay, so they lost to Old Dominion twice. South Alabama.
Tell you, none of them are good.
So the whole conference is a gigantic turd.
Yeah,
Sun Belt is a bad basketball conference.
It is. It kind of is.
Yeah, we're poopy.
Yeah, it's not a fun one to be in, but I don't know. We're not. I mean, if we were in a better conference, we'd be absolute garbage right now.
We have no wins.
Lots of things could be different if we were in a different conference, but you know,
would we have the same coaches we have now? If we were in a different conference?
Exactly. I mean, but we talked about like Hayes on paper is like a really great hire, and probably would have still been a great hire if we were in like AAC. So
would we have better recruits if we were in a different conference?
Maybe the AAC.
They'd probably be taller.
I think they didn't. We get some tall guys commit this week, or something.
Maybe.
Ooh, David, you didn't tell me we're 1 win away from being 13th.
Oof.
1 loss away. Sorry.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but we're holding steady at 4-7. We're at Lafayette tomorrow night or tonight as the podcast releases.
Should be easy. 4th place team, right?
Bob Marlin. That's always I wonder if some of these teams where we were really competitive with back in the Ron Hunter and even the Coach Lanier days, if the fans still remember those times and like they really get pumped up about seeing us come down there and they're like, yeah, we want to beat these guys. We want to, get some vengeance back for what they did to us for all those years. I mean, and obviously Lafayette would be the school that would be quote unquote school that would be.
Yeah, I can see them doing it. A lot of the other programs wouldn't. I like Troy State, right? I mean, they killed us, and they've had our number for years.
They've never had a problem with us.
No, it's weird. It's weird. Even through all the Hunter years where we'd like demolish the rest of the conference, Troy State would like handle it.
They would find a way, whether it's a last second half court 3 or some stupid thing like that. They would win. Yeah.
That and our win percentage down in Crapboro is has not been good even through the Coach Hunter years. Like we would we would demolish them in the sports arena, and then we'd head down there. They'd have our number and get it that way. But I don't know, man. This is just a bummer. I think what needs to happen is athletics needs to divert all their attention towards game day and put it towards our tailgate. Like
I like the way you think.
I'm thinking that they're doing the opposite. So
that's what I'm saying. They need to divert their attention and they need to support us. They need to support tailgating. They need to support fans. I have something fun to do. If you're going to have to go watch, an hour and a half, 2 hours of crappy basketball, at least get a good hour, 2 hours in of some fun tailgating. I was thinking, what if they actually opened up that little plaza center in front of the box and allowed us to set up there the same way we do at Victory Plaza or whatever they call it. The bricks on the bricks.
That could be fun.
Yeah.
And there's some grass right there. There's some grass right there too, right?
We spent all of last week talking about how we're going to leave the bricks to go over to Lot A.
We could just go over there and we could just set up tents right over there and just see if they tell us to leave.
I guarantee we should do that. I guarantee you I like how Ryan says this the week before he's going to miss a game, but we could set up over there.
You guys
and
should
just
totally do that on Saturday.
We should get out there, party it up.
I think you're asking to be escorted away.
Oh, I've done a lot of things that should have gotten me escorted away from a lot of places, not just Georgia State.
Well,
I've been escorted away by a lot of places.
I don't think they're gonna escort you like away, like you can no longer be like go to the game, but they will be like you gotta go back to the magnolia trees.
Stop doing this.
You're kind of lucky we let you do that.
Go back to your trees.
It's the same way I talk to my kids. Like, you're not supposed to be doing that, right? Right. So why are you doing it? I don't know.
Well, I mean, in the words of Jim Carrey, I didn't know I couldn't do that.
Yeah, that was obviously not in Liar Liar because I definitely know what I can and cannot do, and I still do it. So does my kid. But so I was thinking, like, obviously that would be cool, but they're never going to allow that. Also, when we move to the parking garage, assuming they're not charging us like $500 a season to park up there, do you think they'll let us like hang flags and banners off of the whole thing? So I'm like, we could have some State of Atlanta banners hanging off that by the highway when people drive by and like, what the hell is the State of Atlanta?
Yeah, we should do that.
Just don't put a free beer sign up because
don't ask permission. Ask forgiveness.
No. You get like this line of cars coming up to the top of the parking deck. Where's my free beer?
Yeah, I'm not putting free beer up there, but we could definitely have some drink pictures on our poster. Get a big one. Get a huge one. Be like 30
with a Max logo on it.
It'll be nice to be up there though. It looks like a good space at the very end. We can just set up there and hopefully.
Yeah, I would want to be. I would want to be as close to interstate side as possible. I want the interstate to be able to see our tents and our banners we have hanging over. I think that'd be cool.
The flags.
Yeah.
Yeah. You flag people.
Yes, flag them down.
What, you guys are big on the flag? Well, Tim is a flag people. Norm is a flag people. I think.
Norm is the flag master.
The flag's got to go up, right?
Yeah, the master flaginator.
At least one for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's good on game day. If people are driving by and they're like, most of them don't know what the box is at all. They're like, I have so many times people ask me like, what that thing is over there? It's got Georgia State logos on it. I'm like, yeah, it's basketball arena. It's convocation center.
They need just a badass Panther head facing the highway on the box. Like that would just be the best.
Or maybe that huge video board in between the park and the box could advertise basketball game right here, like arrow pointing, like I'm with that guy.
That would appear to make sense. So probably not.
I don't think athletics or the school uses that video board to advertise anything related to athletics or the school. So,
which I get it. It's the foundation, and the foundation owns it, and the foundation's goal is to raise money for the university. But I mean, come on. Throw up game day, throw up tickets, throw up that kind of stuff.
That raises money too.
Yeah, in a different way.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
Whew, David, you didn't tell me we're on a 6-game losing streak.
6-game losing streak. I have that in my notes.
Holy shit. I guess I wasn't there for half.
I didn't tell you that yet.
I wasn't there for half of them, so I guess it didn't really happen. But
dang, Tim, calling yourself out.
I was in Cancun.
Worst places
all
to
right.
be.
Yeah,
Like
that's
the
true.
box watching Georgia State basketball.
Wow. Jeez.
I'd rather be in Cancun too.
Yeah.
We are projected to win on Saturday versus.
Ooh-wee.
non-conference
If
game.
we win, am I allowed back?
Yes.
Oh, it's non-conference game.
Maybe.
So yeah, sure, that's fine.
Oh yeah, because we're playing Miami.
Ohio (parentheses Ohio) parentheses
don't tell me
O
we're in Ohio. Just say Miami.
Miami.
parentheses O
Is it like is it the LeBron team?
close paren. LeBron didn't play there.
Miami?
Oh,
He played in Miami.
He played in Miami.
we're not playing. We're not playing an NBA team. We're not playing the Heat.
Thank God. Oh boy, that would be rough.
Can you imagine if you just saw like Georgia State or Miami at Georgia State and you thought it didn't have Ohio and you're like, oh, I want to go see that, and you show up, you're like, what?
Oh,
Can you imagine if it was like
that's why it says. That's why it has the parentheses O. It's not for Ohio. It's Miami.
Oh. If we didn't play Miami, like the NBA team, but we played just LeBron James, like just LeBron versus
5-on-1.
Georgia State 5-on-1.
It still lose.
I'm betting the over on whatever the prediction is.
Oh my God, he would score 200 points. I mean, still, he would just demolish.
The Hawks combined for 300 of the points last night in a losing effort.
Dang,
That's crazy.
That's a lot of points. Good God, NBA is getting worse.
Yeah, I saw I got the notification. There was like 10 minutes to go in the fourth quarter, and they were both at 100. I'm like, excuse me, what? The final score was 145 to 155 or something absurd like that. But
yeah, defense sounds like it was really good. Really,
Overtime or just regular?
I want to say it may have been OT. That may have been overtime.
That's still a lot of points. I mean,
but if they both scored 100 with 10 minutes to go in the fourth quarter, then yeah. Okay, it's probably an overtime score. What else we got on basketball? I mean, what is there to say about basketball? It sucks.
It's not really a lot. It's not good.
The crowd came out on the Appy State game, whatever they did. Well, I think it was Tim. You were talking to somebody within athletics, and they said they had 3 different promotions going on, and they don't know which one brought the students out.
Yeah, you just throw everything at the students, and then you don't know what actually did it.
I swear it was the Bojangles sliders.
Okay, so I thought it was the influencer guy.
But that's what Lee told me, that she was convinced it was the influencer who came, because they have like, no one can tell me who it is. No one from athletics, no one who like told me about there's an influencer here. Nobody actually knew who this person was. Only that they had like 8 million plus followers on Instagram.
It was like in the hundreds of thousands. It was like 600,000 to 800,000. It was not millions.
I thought I heard 8 million.
Okay. You could be right. Okay. What I recall through my haze.
By the time I'm in the box, I'm usually I don't know how I'm going to finish this sentence.
Do you stay in the box when you're in the box?
I thought you were going to say I don't know how to finish.
Yeah. I'm usually pretty drunk, is what I was going to say. And I was like, that doesn't sound nice.
Well, we do have
to be fresh for the box.
We do have our tailgate time, and then you're walking distance, so you start drinking at like noon on a Thursday game.
It's not that bad. Yeah.
Tag Ryan's employer.
That is kind of nice.
Yeah. Well, calm down. Calm down. My employer, we keep beer in the office, so we're fine.
Yeah. So what's the earliest you've seen somebody drink a beer in the office on a non-Friday?
I don't know.
Okay. Because that'd be my question.
I don't know. I mean, lunchtime probably, but
people do like the Germany thing. You just have a beer.
Not a
with
lot.
lunch.
I mean, but I'm pretty sure I've seen it.
I feel like
it's definitely happened.
I feel like if my office had just stocked beer in there, like I would be really good about it for the first several months or something, and then like, I'll have a beer at lunch.
That's 11:30.
That would become a normal thing. A beer at lunch. And it's like, I didn't finish my lunch yet. I need to have a second beer to wash this down.
Yeah.
And then it was like, well, I need a third beer for the second beer, and then it's just then it's just noon, and I'm 4 deep.
You're like, all right, I'm going out.
I do early lunch. I do lunch at 11 o'clock.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I don't really do much of a breakfast though. So.
But yeah, me neither. I try to beat the crowds. I'm like, I don't want to do a crowd at all.
I only have 2 or 3 beer at breakfast, so it's not that big of a deal.
Yeah,
Gotta have
We're big
early
at my
lunch.
office. We're real big on going out to Steam House though. If we're gonna have beer at lunch, we'll go to Steam House.
It's so
Is this
easy.
a-
It's like right there.
It's so
I mean,
good.
Yeah.
Is this the same company, or is this a different? Is this two companies in a row that have been Steamhouse people for you?
No, same company.
Because you've been going to Steamhouse for a while. I remember you like talking
Yeah.
about showing up to the podcast or to the to a game. You're like, I've been at Steamhouse for the past 4 hours. with My coworkers, I'm totally Tober.
We used
I
to
just
go
gotta stop
there.
off- I just gotta stop and pick up a 30-pack of PBR, and I'll be good to go. I'm like, yeah,
Yeah,
that's
no,
exactly
my
what
boss's boss will pick up the tab and just like
Always.
we all just drink a lot.
Oh, work tabs are the best.
Yeah.
It's like the new
Even-
pizza party, right?
Have you ever
what?
been out when you don't
New
know?
pizza party.
Oh.
Instead of
Oh yeah,
bringing pizza in,
the Hawaiian shirts.
they take you out and
Yeah.
feed you beer.
Have you ever been doing like happy hour with work stuff, and you're not sure if the company's picking it up or not, and then you got to leave early, so you're like, do I just walk out? Do I? How many times do I offer?
Yeah, a lot of times when that happens, I mean, it's like 100% of the time one guy will pick up the tab for everyone. But we will, like, if somebody has to leave, we'll lean into somebody like another underling, and just be like, hey, if my tab ends up coming up somewhere, like, just let me know, I'll Venmo you.
Yeah.
It keeps rolling
you-
until the announcement's made, and they're like, "Yeah, we're covering this."
Yes,
Another round
person
of
who just-
shots.
Yes, intern
Whoa.
person who has no income, pay my $60 tab, and I'll get you back tomorrow if I'm in the office.
Yeah, I promise. I have a Venmo.
Yeah, I'm not gonna be in the office for the rest of the year.
We used to go. What was that place? We used to go to Steam House when I worked down there. We used to go to Nancy G's or something. It's where that
That's
really
the pizza place, right? Chicago style.
Maybe it's not Nancy G's. It was right where that large apartment complex is now.
There's a lot of those.
Right,
This is
across
great
the
talk,
street.
guys.
Right across the street from where you work. How about that? No,
Let's expose Ryan's
I can't
location
remember.
Monday through Friday.
No, just Tuesday through Thursday, but
he works at Starbucks. Everyone, Starbucks. Actually, it's closed right now. Starbucks on 14th. Ryan's there.
Okay,
no, I've never been there.
I don't go to Starbucks. I don't do coffee.
Oof.
Coffee
What do you do? Beer.
Diet Coke. And for the mornings after my 2 or 3
Diet
beer,
Coke.
Diet Coke. Yeah.
All right.
You
fair enough.
have a beer fresh in the morning. That's what you do. Crack a cold one.
Did you miss my whole thing of how I had 2 or 3 beer at breakfast?
Maybe.
No, I mean,
might
yeah,
have.
yeah, I did. David, do you think I listen to you all the time? Come on, man.
Probably less than I listen to, more than I listen to you.
Every 16th word, we know what you're saying.
Hey, Georgia Tech hired one of our football coaches.
Yeah, that happened. I
mean, we
What?
did take 2 of their players. So
that happened too. It's like we're left jab, right jab, but you know what? Like, maybe taking one of our coaches isn't the worst thing in the world.
it's the only coach we're losing so far. So are we tit or are we for tat? Which one are we, tit or tat? Tit for tat.
I guess they would be tit, right? We'd be
Tit
tat.
for
if
tat.
we
I
were
mean,
tied.
Yeah, tat.
I think we'll know at kickoff this year. So
That has the potential to actually be a fun game, especially with the storylines of the coach and the players, and then advantage us. They'll be flying back from Dublin the week before after probably getting their asses handed to them by Florida State.
wait, they're going to Dublin to play
Yeah, week
Florida
0.
State. Okay.
yeah, and I think it's a Florida State home game.
All
I
right.
think
Is it?
I could be wrong on that.
I would just
Right,
call
yeah.
that a neutral site.
It's not
game.
like
I mean,
always Notre Dame.
No, it's not
No.
always Notre Dame. Weird. I know.
No, because remember
You think
last
it would
year
be? It
they
makes sense.
last year maybe it was Notre Dame last year, but either way, Navy or Army or one of them was playing in a Dublin game last year, and like as little as I assume they know about college football overseas, I'm like, why is the U.S. military playing a bunch of kids in college?
Well, they got bases everywhere else, so
Yeah,
may as
I
well
know,
play.
but it's just kind of amusing. Like, why is the U.S. Navy? I don't know if it's Navy or Army, but why are they playing like just these Catholic kids in college trying to become like doctors and social workers and shit?
I mean,
I don't
it's
know,
kind of weird.
well,
like,
I mean, and them saying it in their accents would probably be a lot more funny too. I'm not going to
Yeah.
attempt an Irish accent.
well, and they're funny.
Please
Funnier than you.
Oh, who's not?
So,
I mean, present company excluded, of course.
heyo.
Ooh, just kidding.
Yeah, signing days on tomorrow, on Wednesday, on today.
It's the last one, right?
Are we signing a class that's gonna get us projected last again?
Are we signing a wide receiver? Oh yeah, we'll totally be last.
None of that.
Oh,
None of the rankings mean much of anything for us. I mean, like at the top echelons or whatever, like your top quarterback is like worthwhile, and like you can figure out that he's gonna be good probably. But like once you get down to us, it doesn't.
None of it really
crapshoot.
matters.
It's whether or not the coaches are able to like spot the talent and then create the opportunity for that talent to bud or whatever.
Well,
I don't know.
They're and again, I don't put any basis on recruiting. I'll wait to see what you do on the field. But it is weird that we are consistently at the bottom of the pack in recruiting. We do better than that. We don't finish dead last every year or most years or really in a long time. But man, the recruiting, you would on recruiting day, there's a lot of teams beating their chest about being at the top of the class or whatever.
It's just another thing to like win.
Look at my 15 3-stars, right?
Yeah,
It's about quantity. It's not about quality. It's about quantity, right? Isn't that how it works?
Effectively, the more you get,
unless you have a 5-star, then that's legit.
Yeah, but a lot of times for us, it is like if you go look at the rankings, you'll see whoever's number one just like has way more players. Because like we've sat there and watched these ranking companies, like we get a player and they drop in rating.
Yeah,
and it's like, all right, well, because they're not actually looking at all these players. They're like, well, who is recruiting them? And I can, for the top ones, they are looking at them, but like they can't look at all these players. So they're looking at who's recruiting them and they're saying, all right, well, if these are the schools that are recruiting them, they're probably like 3.5 or whatever, an 85. I don't know.
Well, no, Ryan, you looked at this a lot back in the earlier days of Georgia State. You did that for Panther Talk, and you talk to these kids. Is that something that happens across the board in G5, or is that something that's been specific to Georgia State, Sunbelt schools, where their rankings drop as soon as they commit to us or a peer school?
It's a G5 thing. And like I said, it's just that they are not actually going out there and looking at every single one of these kids. They might go look at like the huddle or whatever. Like the huddle is where you can go watch their clips or whatever.
Film.
Their film. But like they're not out there evaluating every single one of these kids. There's too many recruits per year. I mean, you're looking at 20 plus kids per school at 130 schools or whatever. Like it's a lot. They're not doing that.
Rating, do you even know how that rating process works? What they do, what they're actually looking at? And obviously, every kid has tape, but do you know what they're actually looking at when how they're coming up with their subjective ratings?
It's just the most popular people on whatever format, whatever like brand you're on are just coming up with those.
I feel like the next step there's got to be AI to rate players' film. It's got to be. They just
be better.
Film through it. Or like look for these certain metrics or the speed. I mean, they can probably get your speed off the video.
Let's be the next Moneyball. Come on, guys.
Well, what you do is
figure out the AI.
Yeah, you teach the model by showing the highlight clips and the stats from high school, and then the stats in college, and then you start feeding it stats from high school and huddle film, and say like who's going to be the one who has the stats in college.
We could do this. We could put all this together. We could figure out everything to try to give Coach Elliott the upper hand. And what's going to come out is we find out that everyone's right, and we still can't get anybody better than what's out there.
Yeah,
we would have put in thousands of hours coming up with the algorithm and the AI thing or whatever it is. Obviously, I would do very well at this because I know how to talk about it. But just to find out that no, everyone's kind of right.
That'd be hilarious.
Oh well.
It's just each individual coach needs to go evaluate as many players as they can and grab the best ones that they find. I mean, that's all it is.
Seems like a lot of work effort, a lot of time.
So like in the NFL draft, it's all about getting the best player available. Whoever is the absolute best player in the draft, and unless there's a specific need, you get the best player available. Who it is, like we got a great tight end, but we have like an all-star tight end coming out that's going to be we expect to be in the Hall of Fame. Yeah. Cool. We take them, even though we've got one, quarterback being something that's not really that kind of situation. But typically if you're if you got a good quarterback, you're typically not at the top of the draft order. But in college football, it's more about, filling holes. And it's like, I don't care if there's a really great tight end that wants to come here. We've got somebody good. What I really need is a defensive back or a cornerback or something like that. They fill more by position than by talent, right? Ryan's reading somebody else's messages to him.
I think so. I mean,
or he's muted.
I mean,
Go ahead,
college
Tim.
wouldn't
Go
be
for it.
that way. I mean, college wouldn't be that way, right? NFL definitely. I mean, they're gonna.
That's what I'm saying. The difference
Yeah.
in college is you're filling positions. Like, all right, I've got this kid graduating, or I've got somebody moving on. I got to fill this particular spot. That's what college is. But NFL is more of
NFL's
like, I'll take
I
the
want the
best
best of the
available.
best. Yeah.
Right. And then I can move on. I can get other draft picks or other trades by moving on the other guy if I need to, but get the absolute best available. Because you're really trying to go for the young in the NFL. Because, what the average lifespan of an NFL player is 3 years. So if you got a guy that's good, but 3 years in, you got somebody that could be, game changing. You go ahead and think, I don't know what I'm talking about.
I didn't know I got muted. I wasn't looking at other things. We had a player who got who's going to go to the NFL combine.
Nice.
John Trey Allen, linebacker.
Got
Not
invited to
Allen,
it.
Hunter.
Got invited to it for sure. That's awesome.
Yeah. I thought that was pretty cool, and it just it sparked like when you were talking about the NFL and all that stuff. So it sparked that. I didn't know if you had it on the agenda or not.
I'm just BSing now because I've gone through pretty much everything that was related to Georgia State. I got a couple other things I wanted to talk about though.
But it's cool when our players get to go to the combine. I mean, that's like nationally televised, and like if they show out, and we've had a couple of players like really show out at the combine. So
Robert Davis, I believe, comes to mind.
Robert Davis did, and we had another
Albert
one
Wilson.
who did like
Albert Wilson.
He did well. Yeah.
Yeah,
Because
there was who like lifted a shit ton.
Shannon Sullivan.
Maybe.
He was at the game on. Was he on both
Saturday.
games? I think he at both games.
I made him show me his Georgia State tattoo or something. I don't know, man. I was drunk.
He's a Panther head tattoo. That's right.
Yeah.
Show.
That was a
show me
very
your
odd
tattoo.
pause. I made him show me his. I was like, "Whoa,
Tattoo.
Ryan,
I'll show you yours if you show me mine.
His
Right.
like really big
huge,
tattoo.
huge tattoo."
It is really big. I mean,
I thank God it's not the push-up Panther.
Can you
it's
imagine?
Panther head. It's on his arm, so it's not like it wasn't super awkward to be like, I need to see it. But I was telling him all about how that if I get another tattoo, it's going to be a Georgia State one, so I want to see a sample.
Brands. We're doing brands. We're not doing tattoos. We're doing brands. National championship, Georgia State brand.
You like Shannon Sullivan like raises his arm, and you see the push-up Panther. You just take spray can. You like paint it orange. You're like, no, get it done again.
Yeah.
Orange spray paint all
Okay.
over his arm.
Yeah, I'm not doing shit to Shannon Sullivan's arm.
No, probably not.
His pinky could break me. He can get around all the fat, that is. But so there was the SEC and the Big Ten met this week to pretty much decide the fate of college football. Going forward?
they're going to try to figure everything out. Is what the title was, right?
Yeah, I think this is the beginning stages of them just making their own thing.
They're
writing
figuring
everybody
out how the hell we get away from all these other people.
Yeah. So you're basically looking at the same thing that happened before when they did the Division 1A, Division 1 AA split. We're kind of looking at the same thing again now. You're going to have your NFL minor league or whatever you want to call it. And then you're going to we talk about this all the time.
So the
I'll
Big
believe
12,
it when I see it.
so the Big 12 is going to be leading our league essentially. They're not
Well,
gonna
I don't
get
know.
in.
I think I just can't imagine them doing this and like the SEC and the Big Ten as they exist today being the two conferences that everyone is in. Why are you going to keep in some of these Northwestern and crap like that? Why are you going to keep in Vanderbilt? So I think they're trying to figure out a way to separate themselves and not have to worry about us and give us money and everything.
That's
I don't know.
sad.
But
We need the monies, don't we?
we need the monies. But guys know Clay Travis who does Outkick. All right, he had a great point that I heard today that I had not heard anywhere else, and he was talking about how college football today with the NIL is different than any other form of athletics, both professional or amateur, because of the NIL, where they're getting this NIL money, but then they can just up and leave whenever they want to, and that doesn't exist in the professional sports because you're under contract. You're
Right.
So a team can't just pick you up because you had a really good season. You're under contract. They have to trade for you, or they have to trade for you, or you got to get cut, which is, if you're good, that's not happening. And so that got me thinking, what if, as part of this NIL deal, players went under contract with the universities, which is, kind of what, not having transfer allowed before. But if a player wants to move on to a P5 program, a bigger program, a P2 program, they can do so. But since they're under contract with the university, now Alabama owes Georgia State, or this, I guess, put it in the terms of our guys, Missouri owes Georgia State compensation for our player leaving. Like, he's still getting his money from NIL. Like, he's getting his NIL money, but now Missouri owes us money, or Auburn owes us money.
So this would be a moneymaker for us.
Yeah, this is not Clay Travis's idea.
We'd be all about it then.
Right.
Yeah.
But make it more like the weird thing is that, like, with NIL, you're getting paid by a third party, whereas when you're in the NFL, you're getting paid by your team that you're with.
Right. There's no contract on the player. They keep all the money. Even if they go change schools, it doesn't matter. I know there's been talk about trying to tie NIL money to the player at the school. And if you just up and leave, you don't get to keep all your NIL money.
But that could be part of the NIL. That's just an individual NIL contract. But if you made some kind of agreement across the board that this is what all the universities are going to do, is that all NIL deals are come with this kind of contract that once you leave the school, you either forfeit this or something. I don't know how you.
Yeah, the haves aren't going to go for that.
They should just defer all their NIL money until the end of the season. That's stay. And I think
that was one of the talks that they had before.
Oh, really?
You had to defer your NIL money until you graduated or something.
I was just thinking about my comp plan for work.
Can tell me what I can do with my money.
Yeah, but it is a different way of looking at it. I hadn't thought about it in that particular way before. That, this is not. There's no other sport where you're getting paid by a third party, so you can just go wherever the hell you want to go.
Yeah, just give them $60K to stay to the start of the next season. You got to be there first game.
Dude, our collective hasn't even made $60K.
Okay, $1. I don't even know what number to use. $80.
I don't know how much they've made. I'm
talking about like big boy football though. Like, say, hey, look, we'll pay you $100,000 to come to school and play for us for this whole season and start next season. If you do that, you get $100K. You don't get it now. You don't get it after the season's over. You're here the entire time.
I mean, that basically kind of happens right now. It's just the school's not the one doing it. It's the car dealership down the street that's paying the money. But it'd be. I find an interesting concept if the schools could start getting compensated by this. If there was a contract, there was an agreement between the student and the players.
It feel like a way to make money off players again.
And like, yes, it wouldn't be the same thing. It wouldn't be like we could just say, all right, hey, now we have these guys that have been awesome, and so now we're going to go shop them around to find out where we can get the best bang for the buck on trading them. The kid has to want, the player has to want to go to the school, has to have an offer from the school. It would just be kind of like how in the NFL that if you have a free agent that goes somewhere, you get a compensatory, I can't even say the word, pick in the draft. You get a little something by losing somebody.
Right.
So compensatory. Why can't I say that word?
Compensatory.
But if somehow under these some kind of NIL contract that the conferences and schools agree to, that the schools get a little something out of it, or I guess you couldn't like do a player that kind of goes against the whole concept. You can't just like, we're gonna just drop these other guys down there. Sorry, I know they don't have the education program you were going to school for here, but find something.
But too bad. I kind of like it. I mean, I know there's been discussion about trying to make NIL more tied to loyalty, staying with the program, and stuff like that. So, if you let schools make more money off the players, I'm sure they'll be all for it.
Yeah, if you're like, I'll give you 20 grand this year, and then 40 grand if you stick around the following grand, and 60 grand the following year, or it's like, I'll give you 250 grand to come play for us for one season. Yeah, okay. Well, that kind of wipes away everything else.
Exactly. Huh. I like that. What else you got?
Well, so I was thinking, like, when they do this, whenever it happens with the NILs and with whatever the Power Two are going to be doing, this is football only. I mean, that's the move. The moves are all football only. I think that the conferences at this point want to keep all the other sports in the NCAA. Well, once you have football pulled out of these, big time programs, at that point, conferences stop making a lot of sense the way they're organized now. Why would you have what does the SEC have 16 teams? Why does the SEC have 16 teams not playing football but playing all the way from where the hell are they up in Athens to Texas? Is there a Northeast? There's not nothing further than Athens, right? South Carolina, Columbia to
Yeah, they don't go
to Texas. At that point, why would you have a 16 team basketball conference spread that far out? And the whole reason about joining together was football. I would see like the conferences kind of disbanding quite a bit and going more regional for their Olympic sports, which could be interesting to see what happens. Do you all of a sudden get some non-football members to the Sun Belt to play
we
basketball?
get like South Carolina and soccer, I think, right? And some other.
Yeah, it's very surprising how many big time programs don't have soccer. Like,
Yeah,
it's surprising to me.
kinda
It's surprising to me
Georgia
Georgia doesn't
doesn't
have soccer.
have men's soccer.
It's so
yeah.
weird. So weird to me.
But they hosted the soccer in the Olympics in 1996. Like,
Yes.
yeah, a buddy of mine who is shorter than me and at the time was bigger than me played on UGA soccer team because it was intramurals.
yeah, right.
But he was a Georgia
the
soccer
club
player.
team. It was like our football.
Effectively, yeah.
Yeah.
Or like the was it Ultimate Frisbee guys in PCU as a stretch of a
That's such
But-
a good movie. Such a
Great
great. If
movie.
you can find
I mean,
a way
it's
to
so- it's so-
reference PCU,
so
you're
timely.
winning.
and so timely. So timely. Like, I don't care
Nah.
that came out 20 years ago,
We're
30
not
years
going to
ago.
protest. It's so good.
Can you blow me where the Pampers is?
Blow me with a paper. Oh boy, good stuff.
But that would be interesting to me to see what happens with all these southeastern schools in which Georgia State's sitting right in the middle of, and all of a sudden, potentially their Olympic sports get all disbanded, and maybe we are playing SEC Olympic sports, and then just football as almost not only independent, but you have your own football identity as well. Be
So
kinda cool.
does that like move the meter for your average fan? Because like playing South Carolina in soccer, I don't think does.
No,
I don't think
mean,
anyone
really
would care.
I mean, for the most part, outside of your men's basketball team playing, the name of the school you're playing in your other Olympic sports isn't really going to move the needle. Baseball, a little bit. I think in your more rural universities, more college towns, the soccer has become a kind of the soccer has become more
Soccer.
thing. But like you look at those, like was it Southern Miss, or whatever? Like they have sellout crowds for their baseball team.
They do. A lot of the SBC teams do. I mean, Coastal Carolina, trash. I don't really think anyone else outside.
There's nothing better to do in those towns. So when
well,
you have some,
that is part of it, right? There's nothing to do. What are you going to go do?
but I mean, if all of a sudden, if SEC and ACC collapse as far as the Olympic programs go, and it turns into a regional type thing, and all of a sudden you've got Georgia and Tech playing at the Convocation Center every year, I think that draws a crowd.
Yeah, but I don't know if basketball goes that way. I think it would
I mean-
be. I think it would be football, basketball, maybe baseball, and then everything else no one cares about.
Right.
You know.
I don't know. Football is driving the whole thing. Everything else is going to kind of just filter on down. I think that the writing on the wall is there. This is only happening for football. So
hope
they're
so.
not. And they want basketball to stay
I don't want them to ruin it.
into NCAA. But if that happens, I just don't see the stability of basketball with conferences the way they are, the way they ballooned up, the way they did over the past 10, 15 years.
Yeah, we need to find a way to make beach volleyball be the driver of all this.
Right?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's key. That's key for Georgia State, right? It's just to figure out how to make beach volleyball like the key mover.
All right. I'll put in the extra effort for that one. I'll make sure to add some hashtag beach volleyball school Don't
Well, if we
Harfus.
talk to Cobb anytime soon, let him know that that's what needs to happen.
Yep, I agree. All right, well, that was just my little 2 cents, my little thought experiment for what's happening at the upper tiers of college football.
It's all starting to
I
unfold.
still think. I mean, you're gonna tell me you told me so, I guess, but I think that's just like way out there.
Ryan, it's happening. Book it.
All right, well, we can continue this conversation to last call.
Yeah.
Someone has told me that someone's got to use the potty break. So
I need to urinate.
The facilities need to be used.
thanks for listening, everybody. We're gonna take a break, and then we'll be on last call, where we talk about all this kind of stuff a little bit more. We'll tell Ryan why he's wrong and a lot more vulgar language. You can find on our Patreon page at patreon.com/State of Atlanta. It is free. If you do choose to become a member, you get early access to that, as well as access to our group chat, discounts on merchandise, free booze at our tailgates, fun stuff like that. So please consider subscribing. Patreon.com/State of Atlanta.
How much does
Say
it cost?
goodbye, guys. It's like $5 a month.
That's nothing. Easy.
Less than Disney
Goodbye.
Plus. Say goodbye, guys.
Goodbye, guys.
Peace.
The urine is like going up into Ryan's eyeballs
Oh my
as we
god, I need
speak
to
right
go.
now.
Right? Yeah. No, that's my liver. That's that problem.
All right.
Liver's the strongest muscle in my body.